Close your eyes and just arrive in this moment. Notice your breath traveling in and downward, and as the breath enters and grounds, notice the expansive effect it has on your body. As you exhale and the breath travels up and out, notice how the body gently settles in, settles down, and grounds. With every breath, there's something moving upward and something moving downward in relation to each other simultaneously. Continue to focus your effort on bringing the breath all the way down to your root, all the way down to your pelvic floor, Muladhara. The focus of our practice this morning is on grounding. We'll focus on creating a strong foundation in our physical practice and in our understanding of Vinyasa Yoga concept. So we'll be going over a lot of the basics of Vinyasa Yoga, and this may be a review for you, it may be totally new. I was practicing Vinyasa for quite some time before I ever learned the basics, because I started right off not with basic level classes, but with more of a flow, athletic kind of practice. So these basics are really important because they'll help to keep our practice safe and sustainable and adaptable, so that we are moving from a strong foundation rather than no foundation at all and just hoping for the best or not even being aware of the possibilities. And come back to the intentions that you set yesterday and your own location on your path, and dedicate your practice, all the energy you'll be cultivating and moving, to strengthening your own foundation, whether that's your own physical health, your own mental health, whether that is calling in tools and people that will assist you to get to the next level, whether that is releasing ineffective patterns and habits that are holding you back in any way. Dedicate the practice to strengthening your own foundations on all levels. We'll chant the sacred sound of Om 3 times together, and we'll have a movement that goes along with the mantra. As we inhale, stretch your arms forward and up. And as we chant Om, the palms will face inward, and we'll massage this vibration into our energy body, our pranamaya kosha. And we'll do that 3 times. Inhale together, arms forward and up. Exhale, palms in, chant Rest your hands on your knees and find some pelvic tilts. The placement of our pelvis and our thigh bones is very important in the alignment of all asana. Having an awareness of what we're doing in this area will help keep us injury-free and give us better balance and enhance the flow of prana. So when we arch the low back and stick out the bum and tip the pelvis forward, this is called an anterior pelvic tilt. And when we tuck the tail, squish the lower belly, this is called a posterior pelvic tilt. And most of the time we want a neutral pelvis, but very often Especially in seated poses, we want to emphasize this anterior tilt. And very often in back bending, we may start with a posterior tilt to protect the low back. And our thigh bones right now are externally rotated in abduction, in abduction, coming away from our center line, rolling outward. And the other possibility is internal femur rotation. And what that shows up as in most of our asana is with the knees pointing straight ahead rather than all the way pointing inward towards each other. And when the legs are moving in towards one another, it's called adduction, adduction. So as we're moving this morning, notice how you're arranging your thigh bones and how you're arranging your pelvis. Come back to neutral pelvis, neutral spine, and make some circles with your rib cage. As we're circling the rib cage, soften your belly and continue to invite the breath all the way down to the pelvic floor. Soften the low belly. Draw the breath down. And reverse. Come back to neutral. Make some big circles with your shoulders. Notice your breath or lack of a breath. How can you coordinate the breath with the movement and use the movement to make the breath a little deeper, a little wider reaching? Reverse directions. Circle one shoulder forward and one back. If you don't think about it, it's easier. And reverse direction. Through this practice, transcend your mind and inhabit your body. It's not a mental practice, physical practice. And through that process, we can unite body and mind. Circle the shoulders forward, up, back and down. We can harmonize body and mind. Lift your chin to the sky, stretch the front of your throat. Lower your chin down to your chest, stretch the back of your neck. 2 more times, chin up. And chin down. And chin up. And chin down. Back to neutral with your head. Turn and look over your left shoulder down toward the kitchen. Turn and look to the opposite side. Chin stretches all the way over shoulder. Side to side. And back to neutral. Drop your ear over to one shoulder. Doesn't matter which side, and ear over to the other shoulder. 2 more times. Notice how far down your side body, maybe even all the way down to your hip. Can you feel this stretch? The muscle meridian, the energy pathways. Back to neutral. Lower your chin down to your throat. Roll your ear over to your shoulder. Point your chin up toward the sky. And back the way you came, through center, over to the other side. The 3/4 circle, not crossing back over the neck. Back and forth, side to side. Let your jaw be nice and soft, tongue relaxed. And when your head hangs back through your center line, stack your head right up on top of your neck and stretch through your spine. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up to the sky. Stretch as long as you can. Exhale, arms out and down. A few more breaths like that. Inhale, fill up, bottom, middle, top. Exhale, empty, top, middle, bottom. Divide your body into thirds. Lower third, middle third, top third. Fill up the bottom third, middle third, top third, empty the top third, middle third, the bottom third. Keep going a few more times. Use your diaphragm. As you inhale, consciously dip the diaphragm down into your belly. As you exhale, feel the diaphragm pushing up against the bottom of the lungs and squeezing the breath out. Like you're spreading your wings. Take your time. See how slowly and how deeply you can breathe. You can find your own rhythm. 3 more breaths. Activating and strengthening the diaphragm. Giving the diaphragm permission to direct the breath. And when the diaphragm leads, we release stress from our shoulders and neck. Our heart doesn't have so much to do. And our breath comes down into the lower parts of our lungs rather than just a shallow upper chest breath. This time, interlace your fingers overhead. Stretch your arms back. Stretch your armpits. Exhale, round through your spine, chin to chest. Press your palms forward. Inhale, expand from your heart space, big armpits, elbows back. Exhale, round. One more time, arch the spine and flex the spine. Reach your arms up overhead, stretch tall. Exhale, touch your fingertips to the floor on each side of your seat. Reach up and over towards the kitchen. Reach up and over towards Skylab. Feel the breath lifting you up and lowering you down. Riding the wave. One more time on each side. And back to center. Stretch your arms up overhead. Reach tall, tall, tall. Inhale. Exhale, twist toward the kitchen. Arms come down. Ring out your body, bottom, middle, top. Untwist, stretch your arms to the sky. Other side, twist, arms come down. And back through center. 2 more times on each side. Follow your breath. And one more time on each side. Back through center, and once again circle the rib cage. Let everything find its natural alignment. Go the other way. And back through center. Stretch your legs out just to get some circulation. Bounce the backs of your legs. Circle your ankles a couple of times in each direction. And then we're going to cross the legs again for just another moment. You can put the opposite leg on top if you remember which leg you had on top the first time, or come back into the same position. We're going to do a little bit of chanting together. So the sound of Om is a very important part of Indian thought, Indian culture, and an important part of the yoga tradition. The yoga tradition is based on a philosophy called Samkhya. And from this philosophical perspective, the sound of Om is what gave birth to the physical universe. And from this vibration, the four elements, so the sound of Om existed as the container and as the aspect of pure potential. And from this vibration came the friction of the air element. And from that quickening came the fire element. And from the relationship between the fire and the air came the water element. And from the density and fertility of the water element came the earth element. And we'll talk more about this philosophy, and it doesn't, as a biologist, it doesn't counteract, or it can completely coexist with everything we know in modern science. So it really, again, is more of a metaphor. And so Om is where it all starts, and where it all ends, and where it all exists. And your students will no doubt ask you, well, why do we chant Om? What does Om mean? Om is actually three different sounds, A, U, M. And the Ah sound, so open your mouth and just make the Ah sound. Ah. Notice where you feel this coming from, at the back of your throat, or maybe even a little bit lower. And this sound is the first letter in many alphabets, the first sound in many alphabets. And it represents the force of creation. Vishnu, Brahma, the force of creation, and what can come from that force. So the Ah is the creative aspect. Oo is the next sound. So everybody make that sound. Ooh. Notice where you feel that coming from. Probably right inside your mouth, like just in the center of things. And our mouth is making a circle shape. So this is the Vishnu principle. This sound is symbolic of existence and sustenance, of the present moment, of the here and now. So we have Ah, the sound of creation, U, the sound of existence, and then the sound is not just spelled M, but at the end of that M, there's an NG sound. So it starts on our lips and then travels up through our hard palate at the top of our mouth, up through the sphenoid bone and up through the crown of the head. So it kind of goes forward, up and out. And this is the sound of transformation, the sound of dissolving, so that we can begin the cycle of creation again. So let's make that and then add a little nasal sound and lift it up from there. Let's do it together. Can you feel it? That kind of vibration moving upward. So we're going to break these syllables down. Each of these independent syllables are called bija mantras. Bija means seed, and a seed is something that's very tiny that has great impact, great potential. And that's what these mantras are. They're very short, but they're very powerful and very potent. And each of these mantras can be worked with independently. So we'll see how these feel, and we'll chant each of these 3 times in a row. We'll start with the Ah sound. We'll do it all together. Make it as long, make your mouth as big as you possibly can. Don't be afraid to be the last one. And we'll go one right into the other, so I'll guide the start of each one. Close your eyes. Take a full breath in. Open your mouth wide. Do it again. Inhale. One more time. Just notice the effect. What does that feel like? Where do you feel it? Strengthening that Shakti energy, that energy of creative potential within ourselves. Ooh, 3 times. Big breath in. Make a circle with your lips. Ooh. Pause with the breath out and then inhale into the next one. One more time. Take a pause and observe what you feel and where you feel it. In certain Qigong practices, this sound, the oo sound, also has a healing and rejuvenating effect on our heart and lungs. It's the sound of existence, the sound of presence. And next, the 3 times together. Inhale. The sound of transformation, the sound of dissolving, of release and letting go. The sound also has a positive effect on our third eye center, on our pituitary and pineal glands, awakening higher levels of consciousness. And one time, we'll put them all together and make the most long, exaggerated Om sound, paying attention to each of these 3 syllables. Inhale together. Creation, existence, dissolving, the cycle of life. Stretch your legs out again. Wiggle your toes. Circle your ankles a couple times each way. Bounce the backs of your legs. Pick up your feet. Make some sound resonating through your bones. And bottoms of your feet. Step your feet as wide as your mat. Drop your knees from side to side. Notice how your thigh bone is moving in relation to your hip. Rotating inward, rotating outward. And notice how your hips feel this morning. Bring your feet as wide as your shoulders, knees bent, hands behind you, fingers facing forward. Exhale, lift your hips up into a bench pose. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears, straighten out your legs, hover your hips off the floor between your two hands. Exhale, slide the hips forward and up. Inhale, draw the hips back between your wrists. 3 more times. And back. 2. And 1. Surrender your seat to the mat, cross your ankles, pull your knees in, and shift onto your hands and your knees. Spread your fingers out as wide as you can. Make your hands as big as you can, with your middle fingers pointing forward, parallel to each other. Press into the circle of muscle around the outer edge of your palm. Press into each knuckle and relax your fingers. Ground through each of your fingertips. Relax the joint between your pointer and your thumb. Let the thumbs curl in a little bit. And press into that V, the webbing between your pointer and your thumb. As if you're pushing down onto the lid of a jar to open it up, find that same action in your hands. Press the hands down with a slight external rotation. They're not actually moving, but you're pushing down and through like you're screwing your palms into the mat. This is called Hasta Bandha, the hand lock. Circle your weight over your wrists. So fingers are relaxed, fingertips activated, knuckles pushing down, V of the pointer and thumb, joint of the thumb and the pointer finger relaxed, thumb joint relaxed. Reverse the direction. Every time our hands are connected to the mat, we want to use this level of mindfulness so we protect our wrists and strengthen our wrists and can channel the weight evenly through the bones of our wrists and our hands. Back to neutral, wrists underneath shoulders, eyes of the elbows facing each other, the points of the elbows bending outward. Start the movement at your hips, roll through your spine. Inhale, arch your back. Tuck your tailbone under, round through your spine, chin to chest. Roll through the spine, arch. Round through the spine, exhale. A couple more times. This next time you exhale, open your mouth wide, stick out your tongue to reach the tip of your chin. Inhale through the nose, still contract the back of your throat, make a little snoring sound. Inhale through your nose, snoring sound. Exhale, open your mouth, tongue to chin. 2 more times, stretch your tongue a little bit longer. Last time. Now keep your mouth closed, but make that same snoring sound, that same ocean sound, Ujjayi breath. Contract the back of your throat on your inhale and on your exhale so that I can hear you breathing. Whisper the breath in and whisper the breath out, in and out through the nose. Ujjayi breath means victorious breath. This is the thread that weaves the vinyasa practice together. We want to have this breath happening throughout the practice. This is the one technique that is the constant. And it can be loud and it can be quiet. You can breathe with the throat contracted without making a super loud sound. But sometimes the super loud sound will help keep you engaged, will help keep you in the present moment, will remind you to breathe. Come to a neutral spine, maintain the Ujjayi breath. Tip your hips to the right, turn and look to your hip. Tip your hips to the left, look left. Side to side. Whispering the breath in and out. So without the tongue, the mouth stays closed, jaw stays relaxed. Heavy sleeping sound, heavy sleeping breathing. The Ujjayi breath gives us something to focus on so that we stay in our body. Our breath is the link between our body and our mind. Back to a neutral spine. Make some big loops with your rib cage. Keep going with the Ujjayi breath. Loop the rib cage the opposite way, big circles. Back to neutral spine. Take a big inhale, sweep your right arm out and up to the sky. Look up. Make 3 circles from your wrist. 3 circles the other way. 3 circles from your shoulder joint. And 3 circles the other way. Inhale, stretch, and exhale, thread the needle. Scoop all the way onto the back of your right shoulder. Push into your left hand. Peel your left chest open. Lean your hips to the right. Press into your left hand. Untwist, big inhale, right arm to the sky. Right arm stretches forward, round through your spine. Squeeze all the breath out. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, arch the back. Exhale, neutral spine. Inhale, left arm sweeps out and up. Lift the gaze. Circle your wrist 3 times. And 3 times the other way. 3 giant circles from your shoulder joint. And the other way. Inhale, big opening. Exhale, thread the needle. Rather than on the side of your shoulder, come onto the back of your shoulder. Press into your right hand and get some twisting through your upper back. Lean the right shoulder back, push the left shoulder forward like you're steering the handlebars on a bicycle. Ground through your right hand. Inhale your left arm to the sky. Exhale, round forward. Plant your hands in Hasta Bandha. Inhale, arch your back. Heel the sitting bones up. Anterior pelvic tilt. Tuck your toes under. Straighten out your legs and press back through downward facing dog. Lengthen through your spine. Draw the lower ribs in. Remember Hasta Bandha, big hands, purposeful hands, so the weight can travel down into your mat. External rotation through your upper arms, the soft parts of your elbows facing each other. Stretch even longer through your spine. Make sure you're not hyperextending your elbows or your knees. Be conscious of your joints. There's a slight internal rotation through the thighs. Your knees stay pointing straight ahead. Your heels stay pointing straight back. Direct the gaze between your knees or between your thighs. Press one heel down at a time. Put a little wiggle in your hips. Have your feet about as wide as your shoulders. Open your feet as wide as your mat. Place your heels on the ground and your toes angled slightly outward. Find a big sway from side to side with your hips. Notice the sensation in the inner and outer legs. Lean your hips all the way over to the right. 3, 2, 1. Lean your hips all the way to your left. 3, 2, 1. Remember Hasta Bandha. Make 3 big circles with your hips. Press the weight into your hands and back into your feet. Reverse direction. Back to neutral, hands grounded, feet as wide as the mat. Pick up your right hand, reach it across your body, grab your left ankle. Look to the sky underneath your left arm and lean your hips to the right. Ground your right hand at the top of your mat. Bring your left hand across to your right ankle. Look up to the sky underneath your right arm. Lean your hips to the left. Use your upper body to twist your spine. Ground your left hand back at the top of your mat. Step your feet as wide as your shoulders. Remain on your tiptoes. Pitch yourself forward. Drop the knees to the mat. Lift into a modified up dog. Knees down, toes tucked, chest open, shoulders down. Exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Hands and feet stay where they are. Spine is stretching. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lift your hips. Back and forth a few more times. Lubricating, juicing up the hips and the shoulder joints. Our four largest joints. They get a lot of work in our asana practice. Opening up the spine. As you're moving, be conscious about creating articulation, creating a little bit of space between each bone of the spine. Not only your lower back, but all the way through the middle back, behind the heart, in between each rib. And notice how the breath dances with the movement. 2 more times. Ujjayi breath all the way. Step your feet once again as wide as your mat, heels in, toes out. Walk your hands back and squat down. Lift up your toes and lift up your arches. Toes lifting and spreading, knees pressing open. Feet can be as wide as your mat. Press your elbows into your inner knees. Keep lifting your toes and lifting your arches. And now lift the pelvic floor like you have to hold, like you're going pee and you're holding it midstream. This is called Mula Bandha, lifting the lowest muscles of the torso, the muscles of the pelvic floor. And notice what happens. Release the pelvic floor. And notice how you disengage and sink down a little bit. And then engage the pelvic floor. It gives us a sense of buoyancy and lift. Strengthens our balance. Release. And lift. So Mula Bandha is another cue that I'll be giving, is another important part of our vinyasa practice. It helps us to move with more awareness, more strength and stability, and a deeper connection to our own center. So Mula Bandha activated. You guys all feel that lift from the pelvic floor? And then release your hands down, lift your hips up, inch your feet so they're beneath your sitting bones, heels about 2 fist widths apart. Soften your knees. Connect your belly to your thighs, tuck your hand into your opposite elbow, and just hang in a ragdoll, a very soft and passive forward fold. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Take note of any tension in the backs of the legs, or along your spine, or in your neck, or your shoulders, or your jaw. Inhale, exhale, stick out your tongue. Let your arms hang down. Walk your hands up to your shins. Anterior pelvic tilt to lengthen your spine to a flat back. And exhale, soften your knees, hang back over your legs. 2 more times with breath. Inhale from the hinge of the hips. Stretch the spine long. And exhale, soften down. And 1 more time, long spine, big stretch. Exhale, soften down. Press into your feet, roll yourself up like a sprout rising up out of the earth. Stretch your arms out to the sides, lift up onto your tiptoes, interlace your fingers overhead. Stretch tall on your tiptoes. Lower your heels, lift your toes, squat down and back. It's fine if your heels don't touch the ground. Engage Mula Bandha, lift the pelvic floor to lift your whole self up onto your tiptoes. Exhale your arms and your heels down. Do that 2 more times. Inhale onto your tiptoes, activate Mula Bandha, lift the pelvic floor. Gently lower your heels, lift the pelvic floor again to control the descent. Lift the pelvic floor again, rise up onto your tiptoes. Arms down, heels down. And 1 more time, sinking breath and movement. Inhale. Exhale. So another foundational aspect of vinyasa is the linking of the breath and the movement. We want the breath to be a little bit longer than each movement, and every movement to be informed and infused with breath. Palms together in front of your heart. Step your feet so they are heels right underneath your sitting bones. Outer edges of the feet parallel to each other. Toes can be touching or a little bit spaced. Lift your toes and spread them out. Activate the arches. Plug in the 3 corners of the feet. The knuckle of the big toe, knuckle of the pinky toe, center of the heel. Relax your toes down and bend your knees and make sure your knees are pointing straight ahead. If they're not, then adjust your feet. Follow the direction of your knees. One toe might have to bend out to the side. Toes might be tucked in. Toes might be pointed out. So we want our knees pointing straight ahead because our knees are the direct connection to our hips. We want our hips to be even, so our sacroiliac joint will be even as well. So once you get the positioning of your feet, lift your toes up again, lift the arches up again, plug in the outer edge of the pinky toe, center of the heel, mound of the big toe, and relax the toes down. Keep a softness in the knees. It doesn't have to be an exaggerated bend, but rather than locking of the knees or hyperextension of the knees. Relax the knees, press into the feet, and grow tall through your spine. Close your eyes and bring your full awareness to the sensation in the bottoms of your feet. Those 3 corners plugged in, the arches lifted, the toes relaxed. So this is called Pada Bandha, the foot lock. Just like we have Hasta Bandha with our hands, we have Pada Bandha with our feet. We have Mula Bandha from our root. Every time your feet are touching your mat, engage Pada Bandha, have a conscious connection between body and earth. This helps to channel our weight in a more efficient and effective way, protects our knees, protects our low back, and gives us more strength and stability. Inhale, reach your arms out and up to the sky. Grab onto your right wrist, take a side bend to your left. Inhale through center, grab your left wrist, take a side bend to your right. Inhale back to center, soften the knees, place your hands at your low back, fingers pointing up if that works. Pull your elbows close together, arch back, lift your chest. Hinge from your hips, forward fold, interlace your fingers, stretch your arms overhead. Swing your hands down to your shins, lengthen through your spine. Inhale. Exhale, walk your hands forward on your mat into downward facing dog. Ground through Hasta Bandha. Inhale your right leg high to the sky, stretch through your tiptoes. Exhale, coil your thigh to your chest, pitch forward and place your foot right in between your hands. Press into both feet, roll up into a high lunge, sweep your arms out and up to the sky. Exhale, open into Warrior 2. Reach forward and reverse your Warrior 2. Inhale into your side body. Exhale, cascade your hands down, frame the front foot, spin onto your back tiptoes. Inhale your right arm to the sky. Exhale, plant the right hand back down. Sweep your right leg into a 3-leg dog all the way up. Hasta Bandha. Exhale, lower the leg. Shift your body forward into a high plank. Establish Hasta Bandha. Take your time planting your hands. Soft parts of your elbows facing each other, points of your elbows pointing out to the side. Press your heels back. Squeeze your inner thighs and roll them up toward the sky. Tuck your chin a little bit and feel the long line of extension from the heels up to your tailbone. Tailbone up the spine to the crown. Imagine your spine doesn't stop at the neck but comes all the way through the top of your head. Dome your upper back a little bit. Push the floor away. Push the floor away and poke your vertebrae out of the skin of your back. Drop onto your knees. Swivel your elbows so the points of your elbows are pointing to your ribs or your hips. Bend your elbows, squeeze your side body with your arms. Drop your chest and your chin to the mat. Stick your butt way up high. And now tuck the tailbone, roll through your spine, slither onto your belly into a low cobra. Inhale. Exhale, press into your hands and back into down dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Press into your feet. Roll yourself up, high lunge. Ground the back heel, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, stretch forward in reverse, warrior 2. Exhale, hands down. Spin onto your back tiptoes, low lunge. Inhale, twist the left arm to the sky. Exhale, plant the hand. Inhale, left leg, back and up, 3-leg dog. Exhale, lower the leg. Shift forward into a high plank. Puff up your upper back. Press your heels back. Roll your inner thighs toward the sky. Drop onto your knees. Bend the elbows, elbows point to hips. Squeeze your sides with your inner arms, chest and chin. Arch your back, point your booty up to the sky. Tuck your tailbone under. Roll onto your belly. Open your chest, low cobra. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Connect with your Ujjayi breath. Ground through your hands. Subtle external rotation through your palms. Really press into that V between your pointer and your thumb. Keep the pressure out of your elbows, pressure out of your shoulders. Send the hips up high. Create space between each rib. Roll your inner thighs back. Lift your sitting bones up. Use Mula Bandha and Hasta Bandha. Use the buoyancy of your inhale. And 5 times, hop your heels to your bum. And one more time, hop your feet in between your hands. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, soften over your legs. Feet are about a fist width apart. Roll yourself up onto your tiptoes. Stretch your arms out and up. Interlace your fingers. Stretch tall, tall, tall. Exhale, heels down, toes up. Squat. Rise. Heels down, arms down, palms together in front of your heart. Close your eyes, root your feet, stretch your spine, and observe. Notice what you feel, where you feel it, and we'll build on that. Establish Padabandha, ground your feet, lift your toes, lift your arches, knees pointing straight ahead, circulation through the knees. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Grab your right wrist, bend to your left. Come back through center, grab your left wrist, bend to your right. Come back through center, bend your knees, hands to low back, fingers pointing up, squeeze your upper arms together to lift your chest. Exhale, hinge from the hips, interlace your fingers, arms stretch overhead. Hands to shins, long spine. Hands to the mat, step, step, downward facing dog. Right leg up. Right foot forward in between your hands. Press into both feet. Roll yourself up into a high lunge. For 3 breaths, fold forward and hug your front thigh. And stack your shoulders over your hips. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Put a little bend in your back knee. Stack your heel over your back tiptoes. Bring your hands to your hips and make your hips even. Tuck your tailbone under a little bit so that you're not overarching through your lower back. Put a generous bend in your front knee so the bottom of your front thigh becomes closer to parallel to your mat, knee stacked right over your ankle. Lift through the pelvic floor, lift the lower belly up, lengthen your lower back. Notice if your hips are even from left to right, from your waistline. Reach your arms out and up to the sky. 3 lion's breaths. Inhale, lift your arms even higher. Exhale, cactus arms. Open your eyes wide, open your mouth wide. Inhale the arms up, squeeze your face into a little raisin. One more time. reach your arms up a little bit higher. Circle your right arm back, reach your left arm all the way up to the sky. Reach your right hand to the back of your thigh, maybe even back past your knee to the back of your calf. Keep lifting and stretching through your left side body. Pranify your fingertips. Touch the ceiling with your fingers. Keep drawing up through the low belly. Lift the gaze, look up to your fingers. Where your mind goes, your energy goes. Reach both arms up. Circle the arms back. Hands to the mat, drop your back knee. 3 times, pulse the front leg straight. And bend the front knee. So back knee down on the ground. Half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. A low lunge, Anjaneyasana. One more time. This time straighten the front leg out and hold it here. If you have 2 blocks, you can bring one hand to each block if that will help you. Stack your hips over your knee. Lengthen through the spine, tip the pelvis forward, stretch through your body, draw the toes back, press the heel forward. Find as deep of a crease at the hinge of the hip as you can, and then fold, soften over your front leg. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Tip your pinky toe over to the right. Walk your hands around to the right and turn and look to your back foot. Keep flexing your front foot. Push the heel forward and pull the toes back. Open across the chest. Stretch through your spine. Anterior pelvic tilt. Lift the bottom part of your bum. You guys feel that? Feel something? And release, come back through center. Bring both hands to the inside of your foot. Lift your back knee up. Walk your hands around to your left. At your own pace, bend your left knee. Point your right toes to the sky. Careful with your right knee. Come back through center. Bend your right knee. Point your left toes to the side, to the sky. 2 more times with each knee. Don't rush through the movement. Feel the possibilities of each part of this movement. Each little adjustment is a totally different stretch and gets the muscles in different places. One more time on each side. Last time, bending the left knee. And forward again over the right. Turn and face me. Ground through your hands. Sweep the right leg back and up high. Lower the leg and shift forward into a high plank. Drop your heels to the right. Reach your left arm to the sky, side plank. If you need support, take your top foot, bend the top knee, and push off of your front foot. It can give you a little more lift and a little more stability. Yes. And then back through center. Roll over to the opposite side. Heels down, right arm up. You can take the right leg, bend the knee, the foot is more in line, kind of in front of the belly button. Back through center, high plank. Keep one long line from your heels to your shoulders. Follow my count, we're gonna lower onto our belly. 5, 4, 3, no sagging hips, 2, and 1. Stretch your legs back, one at a time. Fan out your toes, press each toenail into the mat. Place your hands right underneath your shoulders. Push your pubic bone into the mat. Relax your glutes, lift your low belly. Circle the shoulders up and back. And stretch your arms back. For 3 breaths, exhale, stretch your arms forward. Inhale, sweep your arms back, palms open, lift the chest. Exhale, arms forward. Inhale, arms back. Exhale, arms forward. Inhale, arms back. Exhale the arms forward, press your arms into the mat, press your legs into the mat, press everything down, down, down as hard as you can. Imprint your whole body into the floor. Press, 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 press. Find the center of this movement right behind your heart space. Now lift up your right arm and your left leg and push down. Left arm and right leg and push down. Right arm, left leg. Press. Left arm, right leg. Press. Once more on each side. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Peel your chest away from the mat. Come onto all fours. Tuck your toes. Press back into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hasta Bandha. Lengthen the spine. Ujjayi breath. Step your toes together. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Press into your feet. Roll yourself up. Reach your arms to the sky. 3 times, forward fold, hug your thigh. Spread your wings, lift your heart, rise up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 3 lion's breaths. Squeeze your face into a little prune face. And exhale, big scary eyes. 2 more times. Create tension. And release it. Gaze up to your third eye. Touch your tongue to the tip of your chin. 1 more time. Bring your hands to your hips. Put a little bend in your back knee. Stack your heel over your tiptoes. Scoop your tailbone under so you're not sticking out your butt. Make your waist even. Notice if one hip is higher than the other. Probably the left hip is a little bit higher than the right hip. Get a little bit lower in your stance. Once you find that evenness in the bowl of your pelvis, you can see how much you can straighten out your back leg without creating an arch, without creating an anterior pelvic tilt. See if you can dip down a little bit deeper. Maybe a little bit deeper, just because we can, just because we're here. Inhale, reach your arms up. Stretch your left arm all the way back. Reach your right arm even higher. Creep your left fingers down the back of your leg, maybe all the way to your calf. Back of thigh is good too. Reach up, up, up. Lift your gaze by looking up to your thumb and stretching your nose to your thumb. You're protecting your neck. Keep lifting your head, reaching your arms, scissoring your inner thighs together, and lifting your pelvic floor. Keep your hips even. Breathe in between every single rib. Ground through Pada Bandha, left foot is stable. Mula Bandha engaged, pelvic floor lifting to give us stability from the inside. 1 more breath. Exhale, shift forward. Ground the hands, drop the back knee. 3 times, straight leg, and bend the knee. 2. Hands on blocks can be helpful. Straighten out your front leg. Hands stacked under shoulders, knees stacked under hips. Tilt the pelvis forward, flex the foot, push the heel forward, draw your toes back and spread your toes out. The more sensation, the more activation you have in the bottom of your foot, the more you'll feel this. Keep a little teeny bend in the front knee. Keep stretching forward, deepen the hinge of the hip, and fold forward over your front leg. Find little teeny movements and adjustments that give you more sensation. The deeper we can feel, the deeper our life experience. Move into the sensation. Even if it's unknown, even if it's uncomfortable, explore it, learn about it, be fascinated. It's a miracle. Don't be afraid of it. Give yourself permission to feel. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Walk your hands to the left. Keep flexing the foot and pressing through the heel. Stretch your pinky toe toward the floor. Turn and look to your back foot. Keep stretching the spine, tipping the pelvis, opening the chest. Deep Ujjayi breathing to massage your body, to keep the prana circulating, the life force circulating, so that we're nourishing our tissues with blood, with oxygen, and with prana. Come forward, hands to the inside of the foot. Come off of the back knee, walk your hands around to the right 3 times. Bend each knee. And don't rush. Find the sensation. Find the deep stretch without hyperextending your knees. Let this be a primal, authentic movement. Doesn't have to look like anything. Just going for the feeling. Come forward again over the left leg. Sweep the leg back and up high. Lower the leg down. Drop your heels over to the left. Reach your right arm to the sky. Take your right foot, pick it up and step it back behind your left foot so your feet are as wide as your shoulders. Your left leg is straight. Your right knee is bent, you're on your right tiptoes, your heel is directly beneath your knee, belly button pointing up to the sky. Reach your right arm to the sky, and now lower your hips, lower your right heel, stretch your hand in between your knees, lift your hips up, reach your arm back overhead. Good, Christine, step your right foot a little farther forward, more under your knee with the, and then right arm up, perfect. Lower your hips, hand between knees. Arm reaches up and back. You got it. Flip back through, ground your right hand, draw your right knee to your chest. Pause for a moment. Pull your knee in as close to your face as you can and your heel in as close to Mula Bandha as you can. Keep your shin bone in line with the floor, straight line. Lower the whole shin down, knee between your hands. Pick the whole shin up, dome your upper back. 4 more times, whole shin comes down. And up, create space between your shoulder blades. 3, 2, and 1. Step back into downward facing dog. Drop your heels over to the opposite side, to the right, I think. Take your left leg, pick it up, step it back behind your right leg, land on your tiptoes. So your right leg is straight, left knee is bent, feet are as wide as your shoulders. You're on your left tiptoes, knuckles of your tiptoes directly beneath your knee, shin bone straight up and down. Stretch your hips up high, belly button to the sky, reach your arm back over your head towards me. And now lower your hips, lower your heel, stretch your hand in between your knees. Arch back and lower down. That's it. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Lift up and around. Plant your hand. Squeeze your left knee to your chest. Knee to nose. Heel to Mula Bandha. Shift forward. Lower the whole shin down. Knee between hands. Shin bone parallel to the ground. And coil up. Push the floor away. Shin bone comes down. And up. 3, 2, and 1. Send the leg back and up high. Lower the leg down, stay on your tiptoes, glide through upward facing dog, inhale. And press back through downward facing dog, exhale. Step your toes together. Take your right leg to the sky. Step the right foot forward in between your hands. Drop your back knee. Scissor your inner thighs together. You can keep your back toes tucked under or not, whatever feels best in your back knee. Inhale, reach your arms up. Send the hips forward, lift the chest, stretch the waist. Stretch the right arm back, lift the left arm up even higher, full breath in. Exhale, twist to your right, upper arm bone to outer thigh bone. Stack your palms, lift your heart up to meet your thumbs. Keep your hips even, stretch your spine, widen your collarbones. You can stay here grounded or tuck your back toes under and lift your back knee if you want a little extra. Keep the Ujjayi breath going, strong and even. Activate Mula Bandha and find the buoyancy. Instead of leaning into your left arm, glue your left arm and your right thigh together and now pull up and away. Lean your right shoulder back. Push your left shoulder forward. So rather than sinking down, pull up. Three more breaths. Lower your back knee if it's up. Inhale, untwist, reach your arms high. Exhale, hands down. Tuck the back toes, sweep your right leg all the way to the sky. Shift forward into a plank with your leg lifted. Bend your right knee. Tip onto the outer edge of your left foot. Land your right tiptoes on the floor. Lift your hips up, stretch your arms back, right arm back, and wild thing. Face your mat, plant the right hand, right knee to chest. Step back into downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky. Left foot forward in between your hands. Inhale, reach your arms up in Anjaneyasana. Scissor your inner thighs together, lift your heart, make your armpits a little bit bigger. Lean your shoulder girdle back. Stretch the left arm all the way back. Reach the right arm even higher. Glide the left shin forward. And twist. Upper arm bone to outer thigh bone. Stack your palms. Push your right arm into your left thigh. Lift your body up. Stretch your heart to your thumbs. Activate the right side of your body. Create more space in between every rib on your right side. Lengthen your right waist. Stretch from your heel. Christine, go other. Yeah, perfect. Create the line of extension through your spine. Keep scissoring inner thighs together. Option to tuck the toes and lift the back knee. And keep finding that lightness. Keep Mula Bandha lifted. Engage the pelvic floor. Notice how that activates the arches of your feet and the strength and stability that exists from your arches up the inner aspect of your legs, inner knees, pelvic floor. And trace that strength right up the front of your spine, right out through the crown of your head. Drop the back knee. Untwist, big, huge heart space. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Left leg kicks up to the sky. Hinge from the shoulders, one-legged plank. Bend the knee. Rock to the heel of your right foot. Land your left tiptoes on the ground. Lift your hips up and arc back. That's it. Stretch through your spine, open through your armpit. Ground the left hand down, coil knee to chest. Step back into plank. Lower onto your belly. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch your arms forward, stretch your legs back. Spread out your toes, press everything down into the mat. Press down, down, down. Pubic bone down, thigh bones down, tops of feet down, hands down, arms down, belly button up. Bend both of your knees. Reach back and grab both of your ankles. Lift yourself up, lift your thighs up, stretch your toes to the sky. Keep your knees even with your hips and your shoulders. Don't let the knees open up too much. Lift up a little bit more, deepen the breath. Keep lifting the belly button. Lift your crown, lift your heart. Kick up a little bit higher, a little smile, find a little more expansion. Expand even more to the point just before you might pop. A little more expansion, a little more shine. 3, 2, and 1. Soften down. Hands beneath your shoulders, press back into child's pose. Ha. Before you settle in, 3 times, shift from your hands and your knees back into child's pose, pumping circulation through your spine, your shoulders, and your hips. Rest in child's pose. Hips down, forehead down. Gentle with your knees. Knees can be together or wide, as you like. Slowly lift yourself up. Stretch your legs forward. Keep your right leg straight. Bend your left leg in so the sole of your foot comes to your inner thigh. Turn and face your left foot. If you have a strap handy, you may use your strap to stretch your spine and find Dandasana. If you don't have a strap or don't need a strap, that's fine too. Reach your arms up overhead. Stretch through your spine, lift up and out of your low back. Reach even higher. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward over your right leg. Grab onto your foot or hands on the floor beside your foot or holding onto your strap. Inhale, once again, lengthen through your spine, deepen the crease of the hip. And soften down. And one more time, inhale, lengthen your spine, stretch your left side towards your right leg. And soften down to stay. Breathe into your low back. A strap can be a nice way to create some traction in your spine, to take it out of the low back into your whole back. Draw the breath all the way down to your low belly. Invite the breath all the way down into the pelvis. And notice where there's resistance, and notice where there's not enough space for the breath. And see what you can do to make some space. How can you rearrange what's there? Inhale, unfold, reach to the sky. Exhale, left hand to the mat, behind your shoulder, roll onto your knee, lift your chest up, arch back. And hinge your hip back down. Take your left leg, cross it over your right thigh, plant your foot, hug the knee into the chest, flex your right foot, stretch your left arm to the sky, keep your hips pointing straight ahead, twist your belly, twist your ribs, twist your shoulders towards your bent knee. Release the arm back behind you, hand in line with your spine, as close or as far away as you'd like. Grow a little bit taller, hug your thigh into your chest. Twist again, belly, ribs, chest. One more time, belly, ribs, chest. Squeeze yourself a little deeper into the twist. Now turn and look all the way behind you. Turn your neck as far as it will go, chin over shoulder. Grow a little bit taller, drop the shoulders, pull the left shoulder back. Keep opening across the chest. Untwist. Bring your hands over to your other side and gently bow down. And back to center, hands back, extend both legs, lift your hips up, reverse plank, 3, 2, and 1. Drop your hips. Other side, bend your right knee. Turn and face your left leg. Reach your arms high to the sky. Flex the foot. Stretch even taller. Inhale, strengthen your back. Exhale, forward fold. So you can use a strap around the bottom of your foot. That will give your spine more length. Will take the pressure out of the low back. Keep stretching forward. Wherever you're holding, inhale, lengthen your spine from there. And exhale, soften down. And one more time, inhale, lengthen your spine, deepen the hinge of the hips. And exhale, soften down. Connect with your breath. Inhale, rise yourself up, reach your arms to the sky. Take your right hand down, keep your legs exactly as they are. Press into your right hand and just lift your hips up. Reach up and lean back. And sit back down. Take your right leg, cross it over your left thigh. Squeeze the knee into the chest, squeeze your inner thighs together, actively press your right foot into the floor. Actively flex your left foot, stretch your right arm high, create an axis from the tip of your tailbone to the tip of your middle finger. And twist to your right, belly, ribs, chest. Let the arm come down behind you. Heel of hand in line with spine. Stretch your spine a little bit longer, twist again, belly, ribs, chest. Shoulders down, chest open. Twist again, belly, ribs, chest. And last thing to turn is your head. Find the deepest twist that you can find. Keep pressing your right foot down. Engage the pelvic floor and lift taller through your spine. like you're wringing out a sponge. Infuse new breath, new circulation into the spaces that you're squeezing out. Draw the breath down to your pelvis and notice where it gets stuck. Notice where there's constriction. And do your best to free up the space. Inhale. Exhale, untwist. Hands to the mat, bow down. And back through center. Hands behind you, legs extended, fingers facing forward, whole body lifts up. You can tuck your chin, you can look to the sky or drop your head back. And release your seat to the mat. Scoot forward so you have space to lean back. Slowly lower onto your back and draw your knees into your chest. Take a moment, rock from side to side, massage your back against your mat. What feels good to you? How can you honor your body where it is right now? How can you listen deeply and understand deeply to know what your body needs? And this is something that happens beyond the mind. It's not something you think about. Lengthen your arms long by your sides, palms facing down. Lift your feet up to the sky, press into your arms, and stretch your toes to the floor behind your head into plow pose. Your toes don't have to touch the ground. Keep the pressure out of your neck. Keep the pressure in your arm bones and your shoulder blades. Bring your hands around to support your low back and lean your low back into your hands a little bit. No pressure in the neck. Relax your jaw. With your hands supporting your low back, take your legs up to the sky into shoulder stand. Again, no pressure in the neck. Keep the weight in your arms and your shoulders. Throat relaxed, jaw relaxed, eyes closed, eyeballs heavy. Circle your ankles, wiggle your toes. Let your legs move on their own. Draw your knees into your forehead. Extend your arms with control. Roll down one bone at a time. Pause for a moment with your knees into your chest. Grab onto your knees. Lift your forehead up. Kiss your knees. Stretch the back of your neck. Inhale, stretch your whole body out long. And take a moment to add any other movements that you like. When your practice is full and nothing remains that needs to be done, gracefully settle yourself into Shavasana. Take this time not to do, but simply to be. To breathe without technique, without judgment, without observation. Just rest. Surrender to the moment. And let go. You can't control it. Change it. Just rest in it. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Breathe into your two hands. Remember your intention, how you're nurturing and nourishing your own foundation of who you are, the foundation of your path, your life's journey, your root chakra. Remind yourself that you have access to everything you need. It's all here for you. Fill up with gratitude. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your body out. Gently and naturally ease yourself up to seated. Palms in Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. We'll close our practice with the sacred vibration Om, representing the forces of creation, existence, and transformation within ourselves and in everything that exists in this universe. Inhale to chant. Place your thumbs at your third eye. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May we be at peace with ourselves, with others, and with this place. Namaste. Thank you guys for your presence and your energy. So we're starting our silent hour until 10. When you come back at 11, make sure you have some kind of camera, notebook and pen, and make sure you wear a mask when you go through the breakfast buffet. If you forgot your mask, you can tie a napkin around your face. And see you at 11. And you can leave everything where it is for right now.